comments, girl, you better run for your life because Papoose might be trying to get you pregnant, get 20%, and then you're going to be on here cursing him out like Remy did last night. So Papoose, girl, allegedly, he done pissed off Remy. Then Papoose clapped back, called her everything, a bad mama. She do, you know what? He write her rhymes. We gonna talk about that. Exactly. We also gonna talk about Sidora because Drew and Ming got into it last night. And I think it's gonna be more to come because Drew was in this interview the other day dragging all of the girlies from Porsha to Shamea to Phaedra. Girl, anyway. Good morning, Fred. Happy Friday. Get you a little wake and bake. Get you a little coffee. Exactly. I'm having my coffee, but I gotta run out of here and go to work. So I'm gonna make this quick and then I'll come and talk to y'all on lunch and we'll get into all of the things because I got some more stuff to talk about. So make sure you subscribe, make sure you like this video. TGIF, exactly. Thank God it's Friday. Before I get started, prayers up to Skilla baby. He was shot in Detroit. I heard he's in stable condition right now and he's doing okay. But I love me some Skilla baby. Exactly. So let's send our prayers out to Skilla. What y'all want to talk about first? It was so much going on last night, child. And I ain't gonna lie, I was groovy in the bed eating a turkey club sandwich. Literally fell asleep with a tomato falling down. Anyway, but I was trying to keep up with all of the drama. So when I fell asleep, Fabulous posted a picture of him and Remy courtside and was like, yeah, you got to take some L's, but you bounce back, reminisce. I don't know if he was talking about the Knicks game, but it was bad timing, Fab. And then he gonna get down in the comments, so man, I didn't even know what was going on. I was on my way to Germany. Fabulous, we seen you in the comments, Pooh. He be lying through them crooked teeth in his mouth. Exactly. Anyway, girl, I don't know what Fab was on, but I wonder is Papoose gonna have something to say about Fab because Fab posted that in the midst of a divorce court. They online divorce court battle. Okay. So we know the other day, Claressa, her name is Claressa. Why did Remy show the text of her and Papoose? And she called Claressa Clarence. She said, tell Clarence to pay. Remy stupid as that thing, child. Ooh, Remy is funny. Don't get mad at me. Exactly. So I'm gonna tell y'all how it popped off. So all we know is Claressa has a fight. She's doing a promotional tour. When she was at the Breakfast Club, I'm sorry, y'all. When she was at the Breakfast Club, they was talking about the elephant in the room, and so she mentioned Remy. She was like, I don't have any beef with her. It wasn't anything disrespectful, but Remy was saying, just like y'all pay y'all publicists to do everything else, you can tell them, hey, I don't want to speak about this. Or when they ask you about it, just totally, you know what I'm saying? Which I don't understand why so many people are Team Claressa and she's married to a man that's legally married. But some of these other girlies, these housewives, if they mess with a man that's legally married, y'all gonna drag them for filth. So keep that same energy. Keep that same energy. There's no reason why a side chick should feel comfortable to speak on somebody's wife. I don't give a fuck what Remy did in the marriage, what Pap did in the marriage. They're still legally married. It is what it is. Anyway, so Remy got on the internet and she was like, okay, I've been quiet for this long. And I don't understand where the narrative comes that Remy is bitter. She ain't said shit. We've been speculating what happened for how long? Almost a year. Remy ain't said shit. Papoose ain't really said shit. So obviously this girl is not bitter or she would have been said something. He been, parading around with Claressa for a minute. Anyway, so this is what she said. She said the only reason all of this shit went down is because she got tired of paying. She said that she pays all of the bills. She pays the rent. He gets 20% of her money because he manages her. She said all he responsible for is paying the utilities and he broke. And she said it's easy to fall in love when you homeless. Because remember when we first found out that they was getting into it and we found out about Claressa, Remy was like, well, why are you still staying in my house? We not together. You got this whole other girl. Why are you still in my house? So I'm assuming that's when Papoose was forced to get out. And he probably went over there with Claressa. Because Remy then followed up and showed us some text messages where she said, tomorrow is trash day. She said, tomorrow is trash day. Come get your shit, bitch. It's been in my house for 6 months. I've been telling your homeless ass to come get your shit out of my house. And she said, tomorrow is trash day. So I'm assuming tomorrow I'm putting all your shit out because I've been telling you to get your shit for 6 months. Meanwhile, you on TV and you everywhere with this girl. Come get your shit. Get a storage facility. Contact Destiny Payton. She know where all of the storage facilities. I'm sure Destiny Payton got a contact for a storage facility in your area. Exactly. That's her area of expertise. Anyway, so she shows these text messages and she was like, yeah, and when he went to Africa, she said he didn't want you to go. Like Claressa, because remember Claressa said she couldn't go because she didn't get her shots. Remy said, no, he didn't want you to go so he could sit up on the phone and text me all day. Mind you, remember when Papoose was over in Africa? I came down here and I reported that Claressa was feeling some type of way because she was posting all types of shit and it was giving Papoose was over there and wasn't contacting her. Meanwhile, he was contacting Remy. Meanwhile, he was on Remy's phone. Baby, so Remy showed the text messages. First of all... Why does she have Papoose's number saved as Bozo? Oh my gosh. Baby. So, needless to say, the next person who pissed me off, I'm going to save your name under Bozo. Anyway, child, so she showed the text messages. And she was like, okay, don't make me scroll up. She was like, if you say anything, I'm finna go in on your ass. And they was going live for live. It was literally Instagram live for live, back to back. Baby. And she showed the text messages. She said, my daughter is asleep at 9 o'clock. Papoose texting her at 11 o'clock. Videos of babies and shit. Trying to be cool. Because he said, she was just trying to get with me the other day. It wasn't giving that from the text messages. Papoose, you can say anything out your mouth, but she had the damn text messages. In the text messages, Remy is like, what's up with your attorney? What's up? She is asking him back to back about the attorney. You know how a man try to steer the conversation to some friendly shit? You sending pictures of the baby. Remy like, oh, that's cute. What about the attorney, ho? What about the attorney? So it seems like Remy was the one who was trying to move this divorce along. And then she said, get Clarence to pay it. Talking about the attorney. So it's given she know you broke and can't afford an attorney. So get your bitch to pay it because you lived off of me this long. And she was like, his next come up. He called Claressa his next come up. Mind you, I said this in my video just yesterday. And it was some ladies in the comments. I said I'm going to come back to this comment. You see how I be right? Exactly. Yes, he is allegedly managing Claressa. Yes, he is getting a percentage of her money. And he do stay over there with her. Literally. Where is his job? Baby. Then she went into talking about how he was broke. How he pawned her. How he couldn't pay utilities half of the time. Which that was all he had to pay. But he couldn't pay utilities because where's your job? Where is your job? Where do you get your income from? She said he had a gambling problem. And she showed receipts. Pawn shop receipts. He pawned her Cartier, I think it was her Cartier bracelet or watch or something for a few $1,000s. This was back in January. Like, not you on the gram like you rich, baby. You not rich. You at the pawn shop. And he pawned one of her diamond necklaces. She said when she got out of jail, all the bills was past due. And she bought the house. Then here come Papoose, child. Papoose said this girl was cheating on him in the other room with a girl from jail. My first question is, why would you still be with Remy if you thought she was cheating with another woman in the other room? Why would you leave her? I don't know a man in the world who would deal with a woman that continuously cheats on him. Unless you ain't got nowhere else to go and she's your meal ticket. That's the only how I see Pap staying with Remy if she indeed was cheating on him like he said so. You stay with her because she's your meal ticket. But I digress. He started talking about, he admitted that he got a gambling problem. Mind you, during this whole rant, he never addressed the money. He said, all of the utilities in my name. She said all the utilities was in your name and you couldn't keep the utilities on. He never addressed the money. He called her a bad mama. He said he suspected her of doing drugs with him. All of these things. But what about the money in the pawn shop? What about the money? It's giving you're hurt because this girl met somebody else or was cheating. Which if Remy was cheating, bitch, you a wrong ass bitch. You should have just left him. But it's giving you kind of is a leech and a mooch. Anyway, so he talks about knocking Captain Crunch, the block captain or whatever, whoever. His name is Easy the Block Captain. He's a battle rapper, the guy that allegedly Remy is messing with. Which Remy said, stop talking about a man that got an 820 credit score. Pap kept calling him the lame. He's like, yeah, I knocked the lame out. And he heard the recording. He was like, yeah, the lame was talking about he had pictures and videos of Rem. He was trying to blackmail her. I don't think, Remy don't give me, I get blackmailed. And she still talked to this dude. Almost a year after you knocked him out. And then Papoose still got a picture of him when his teeth was messed up on his Instagram. Pap, your teeth was messed up. Remy said she paid for his teeth. She said, I paid for your teeth. Remy, are you paying for Captain Crunch teeth too? I don't know, but I know Remy said, don't talk about a man who got an 820 credit score. Say what? An 820? Baby. If I meet a man today with an 820, come on, baby. Come home, baby. I made some oxtail noodles. Okay. You and your 820 can come over. Exactly. Because we about to get a business loan and set this bitch off. Exactly. Anyway, child. He also said that he wrote 90% of Remy's rhymes. And somebody asked him on a story, did he write this? And the song was Conceited, which is one of my favorite Remy songs. I'm conceited. I got a reason. I look way too good to be fucking you. Exactly. That's a vibe. I might jam that on my way to work, y'all. Anyway, he said, yes, on my daughter, I wrote that. Do y'all think that Papoose wrote Remy's rhymes? I don't. First of all, and a lot of people started talking about Nicki Minaj. Nicki was battling Pap. First of all, Papoose has told us multiple times on multiple platforms, The Breakfast Club, every interview that he did not write Sheether. Your fave just got bodied by Remy. Let it go. It's been years, friend. She just got bodied. She got bodied over the damn, over the ether beat. It is what it is. It'll never change, friend. The thing I don't like about this, don't try to discredit this girl's talent. We seen Remy battle rapping well before we even knew Papoose and his receding hairline existed. Exactly. Remy has been battling for a very long time. You can literally go on YouTube and hear her. So I don't think that she needed you to write any rhymes for her, and you're not listed as a writer on those songs. And I'm sure if you was taking 20% of her money, you would definitely be taking a percentage for writing credits. And if you made those hits, he said he wrote 90% of her hits. Why you ain't wrote yourself a hit? If you can make me, make another me. I don't understand. Write Claressa a hit. She wants to be a rapper. I don't know. I don't like when they do that. And for the ladies who quick to believe that Papoose wrote for Remy, that's the same shit that Safari said, that he wrote for Nicki. And we know for a fact that Nicki can rap. And she was rapping well before Safari. I don't like when men do that. Don't try to take away or negate her talent and her accomplishments because you mad because you're broke. Exactly. So if Safari ain't write Nicki rhymes, then Papoose lying about writing Remy rhymes. Let's start there, friend. Exactly. Anyway, he said he can't. She's a bad mother. He can't see his daughter. She was keeping him from his daughter. This is when all of this shit started to sound cap to me. First of all, I don't like it when men, every time they get into it with a woman, they hit this dog whistle. She won't let me see my child. Okay, DDG. Okay, DDG. If she's a bad mama and she's never there, how do you know if she keeping you away from the child? And if she was keeping you away from your child, why are you texting her pictures of the babies and all of this shit? The text conversation would be more like, bitch, why you keeping me away from my child? But it wasn't. It was friendly, very friendly. So she was not trying to keep you away from your child. He also said, this how you know he was caught up in the lie. Go look at the lie, friend. In one breath, he said, she was trying to keep me away from my child when this all happened, so and so and so and so on. Then he said, she hit me up and said, you ain't seen your baby in 6 months. And he said that he stopped at the school and seen Reminisce, his daughter. He was like, I just wanted to lay my eyes on her. So it's giving, you haven't spent time with your child since Christmas or whenever, but you stopped by the school to just see her on her way home. And he was saying, how she ain't know I had just seen my daughter. First of all, if she was keeping you from your child, why would she even be texting you talking about why you ain't seen your daughter in all of these months? She would never text you and say that if she was keeping you from your child. That was like a bold-faced lie. I was like, damn, this nigga lying. You just said she was keeping you from the child. So why the fuck would she call you and say, why you ain't seen your child in a few months? I guess, child. Anyway, Papoose was giving kind of lame. It was giving lame, bitter, and hurt. I don't know how people got Remy was bitter because Remy ain't said nothing in all this time. This girl's living her best life. He like, she bitter, she miserable and jealous. She was just courtside at the game with Fabulous. She's been in like a whole, but I look at her Instagram. Like, it's giving Remy is looking good and feeling good with a nigga with an 800 credit score at the game with Fab chilling. And you and Claressa trying to promote your, anyway, fuck Papoose. At the end of the day, somebody tap Clarence on the damn tap Clarence on the shoulder. Don't do it too strong though, because you know her strong neck ass might beat your ass. She need to watch out for Papoose. I said this the other day. Papoose said he just met her in July. Papoose, put this into perspective, friend. He just met this girl in July. He's already living with her, training with her, integrated himself into her career. If he's managing her, he's getting 20% of her money. And she's talking about how he wants a baby. Don't this remind you of Ralph? Not you trying to integrate yourself into this girl's career, get her pregnant, so you'll be tied to her forever. Baby, somebody, and how old, Pap is like 15 years older than her. Somebody talked to Claressa, and I hope she's, aware of the fact that this older man might be trying to trap you with a baby and integrate himself into your career and your greatness like he did Remy. I don't know, friend. Tell me what y'all think about the Remy versus Papoose stuff. It was a lot. It was a lot of drama, but I'll keep you posted. Before I leave, though, let's talk about Sidora. Let's talk about Sidora. Taurus, y'all was up one yesterday, and now y'all back down, friend. You're back down. Gemini's up, though. Ain't it Gemini season? Yes. And Remy just slid. So Gemini's up today, child. And Taurus, y'all finna take this L. My bad. So right after Drew did the Carlos King interview, she did an interview last night on YouTube. First of all, Kim Power pointed this out. Why hasn't Drew been on Watch What Happens Live? Everybody been on. Shamea been on there. Kelly been on there. Porsha been on there. Everybody has been on Watch What Happens Live except for Sidora. they said allegedly is, well, he said that's a bad look. Is she on her way out the door? Remember when I did the Real Housewives of Atlanta review, I said that there was the tea. There was the tea that Drew is getting like the least amount of camera time as far as the housewives are concerned. And they might be replacing Drew with Nene. Because after Drew divorces Ralph, she ain't got no storyline. It's not like she gonna be doing music with Dennis McKinley. I don't know, y'all. I don't know. Anyway, so Drew did this interview, child. When I tell you Drew was talking about everybody, the girlies might start dragging Drew, child. Anyway, and I don't like that. It's giving Drew, you have a lot of energy in these interviews, but you don't have the same energy to their face. Sometimes you do, but it's never giving this sassy, this much shade. Even the interviewer was like, okay, Drew. You know what I'm saying? Like, bitch, you doing the most. Y'all gotta watch the interview. I'll pin it in the comments. Baby, so he asked her, the interviewer asked her about Ming Lee. And she said, it's giving, some people need a storyline. You tried to come over here on Real Housewives of Atlanta, but that didn't work. So then you went to that showdown over there, shading basketball wives, and now you need a storyline. Baby, first of all, not you shaded the basketball wives, but Drew ain't tell no lies because Ming Lee has been trying to get on Real Housewives of Atlanta, I told y'all, and basically she wasn't chosen. And I thought that's why maybe Kenya and Ming them felt some type of way about Britt Edie, because Britt Edie got the spot over Ming Lee. So Ming Lee clapped back though and added Ty and said, Ty, get Drew, added Drew, and said, I spared her when her castmates told me to air her lying ass out. And when she talking about castmates, was it Kenya? Because Drew spoke highly of Kenya and said Kenya was one of her friends. And we know Ming Lee and Kenya was real close too. Or was it Porsha and them? Because you know Ming Lee is cool with Porsha, Shamea, all of the girlies. Baby. Anyway, so that's what Ming said. She said, you better get her before I air her lying ass out. Drew, you never gonna get over this lying thing. Anyway, so Ty didn't say nothing. Ty been posting, but she ain't say nothing. She ain't respond. I wonder is Ming gonna air her lying ass out? Exactly. What do the streets of Atlanta know about Drew that we don't know? I want to know who Drew allegedly fucking with. I thought it was chaotic, but it's some guy named Black. I guess we'll figure out who Black is on the next episode of Dragon Ball Z. Anyway, girl, she also said, hold on, the thing with Ming and Drew, this is why I think that's cap. Remember that scene earlier in the season on Real Housewives of Atlanta when Shamea and Angela got into it with the 99 nose? That situation. Ming Lee was standing right next to Shamea, and remember, Drew was there with her sister. I'm assuming that's why she brought her sister, because she knew Ming was gonna be there. So Ming, if you had that much smoke, why didn't you say nothing to Drew then? Why didn't you say, hey bitch, what's up with you and Ty? Also, at the premiere party, at the Real Housewives of Atlanta premiere party, Ming Lee and Ty was there together in Porsha's section, and Drew also was there. So why is it this smoke now, and why wasn't it smoke when y'all saw each other? Or why didn't you address this issue? You know what I'm saying? It's giving fakery and phonery. Girl, and then they asked her about Shamea and the Porsha thing. They asked Drew about the Porsha and Shamea relationship and da-da-da-da. So she said that, first of all, she said she coming for Porsha at the reunion. She said Porsha better use her big girl words to talk because she got a lot of questions. She said Porsha better use her big girl words to talk because she got a lot of questions. I keep telling y'all, if Porsha decides to skull drag Drew, I don't want to hear shit. Because she been taunting and antagonizing Porsha for a while now this season. So if Porsha give it to Drew at the reunion, I ain't got no words. They filmed the reunion in a few weeks. Anyway, so she said that she wanted to discuss her friendship with Porsha, but as far as Shamea is concerned, she said that Porsha avoids conversations like she avoided the conversation with her about Dennis or whatever, and she probably did the same thing with Shamea. I agree. I've been said that from Porsha's family values. From her spinoff show, I could tell Porsha avoids serious conversations. I said that before. She said, but the fact that Shamea continues to stay there and deal with it is why she called Shamea a lapdog. And he was like, oh, so you doubling down on her being a lapdog? And she said, yes, she's a dog on a leash. And started barking, roof, 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 louder, roof, roof. I said, now what, bitch? Bye-bye. The girlies gonna get you, Drew. The girlies are gonna get you. She said during the reunion she is gonna have Angela's back, but she feel like Angela really don't need her, which she's right. They asked her about Phaedra, baby. She said Phaedra need to focus on staying on the show. I said, what? She been shading Phaedra, but it's low-key shade. On that Carlos King interview, when he asked her about Phaedra's return, she said, well, she gave us a lot of faces. Yeah, she gave us a lot of faces. Basically saying Phaedra didn't give much. Phaedra was just giving like the little faces and stuff that she did on Married to Medicine that people was complaining about. But the killer part is even all of the people who said she ain't bring nothing to Married to Medicine. She ain't bring nothing to Married to Medicine. The whole last few episodes on Married to Medicine was all about Phaedra. Even after Phaedra left, the cast was still hating on Phaedra. It was Phaedra, Phaedra, Phaedra. Like it's Porsha, Porsha, Porsha. Exactly. And she talked about Porsha and Dennis in the text. And she said that those texts where she allegedly was trying to buy booty, you know, she was allegedly trying to pay in booty for the beats with Dennis. She said that was a lie, and she said Ralph debunked that when he was at dinner with Porsha and Shamea, but they probably just edited it out. You know what I'm saying? So it can look juicy or whatever. But get this. Ralph just did an interview. He did it. It posted yesterday. I'm going to watch it today, and later on I'm going to tell y'all about it. He did an interview, and he said all Drew do is act. He said Drew is always acting. Everything is a performance. And Drew gives that. Carlos King said that, like, on the show, the crying, even during this interview, everything was really performative. Like, yes, and she, you know, it was really giving that. You know what I'm saying? It never gives authentic vibes. I don't know. But I'm going to tell y'all what else Ralph said, child, because he sat down with the girlies. He sat down with the girlies. Anyway, friends, so that's all I got to say. I got to take my ass to work. I'll talk to y'all around lunch, or maybe we'll go live tonight. But tell me what y'all think about the Remy and Papoose thing. Do y'all think Remy is a bad mama? Do y'all think Papoose is leeching off of Claressa? Because he couldn't even pay the utilities at Remy house. Is he going to go over there and get his shit off the curb? Because Remy said it was trash day. Is Claressa, is she going to have a baby by Papoose? I hope this girl don't have no baby by Papoose. And I just told y'all yesterday, if Papoose starts being her manager, we know what time it is. Just like he had 20% of Remy money, he's going to take a percentage of Claressa money. I hate to see it. I literally hate to see it. Anyway, and then tell me what y'all think about the Drew and the Ming shit. And Drew talking about Porsha. She coming for her at the reunion. Called Shamea a lap dog. Literally a dog on a leash. Shamea, Drew said you was a dog on a leash, bitch. I don't know, friend. Anyway, make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, make sure you comment. I need my Friday to go by very quickly, friend. Exactly. So make sure you comment so we can snickle and giggle. Keep it cute in the comments. Exactly. And I know some of y'all pick Mishas and some of these older women. Y'all always gonna side with the woman. Exactly. So I'm already prepared for it, child. Anyway, I'll talk to you later. Love you, friend. Bye.